guys, welcome back to another video in the Node.js series. In this video, we will learn about promises. So before we talk about promises, we need to remind ourselves that there are basically two kinds of tasks that happen in Node.js: synchronous and asynchronous tasks. If we talk about such kind of program where we have certain variables which have been assigned some values and we are calculating the result and we are printing the result. So all this is happening because it is a synchronous task. So one by one it's going to read all the instructions and accordingly it's going to display the result. Now we must understand that there are certain tasks which are asynchronous, means they require some time to show you any kind of result. So promises are a modern way to handle the asynchronous tasks. But there were older styles also, like callbacks, means the functions that you pass to be called later. So there are many built-in JavaScript APIs that return promises. But there are older or lower level asynchronous functions that still use callbacks. Now I'll be giving you one example. Why do we call them as promises? Just take a look at this page. This is JSONPlaceholder. This is free fake online REST API which is utilized for testing and learning purpose. And now just imagine you want to fetch the data from the server. Now this kind of fetching will require some time, right? It won't be fetching the data at just one moment. It needs some time. So this network, you can say, will have to make a promise to you that yes, you need to wait, I'll fetch the data for you, and you must wait till the time the data is fetched. And meanwhile, if you are free, you can do some other task. So resulting in this kind of situation as an asynchronous situation. So I'll be now creating a variable. Let's say let fetch data equals to, we have a built-in function called as fetch function whenever we have to fetch the data from any server. I'll just copy this code, or I'll just comment it, console.log, and I want to print fetch data. Now when I execute this code, it will return a promise which is pending. Means it is promising you that it's going to fetch the data for you, but you need to wait. Now since you have to wait, then in that case you need to use a wait function. And a wait function is always used in conjunction with async function. So you need to rewrite your code in the following way. You need to create a separate function with any name. Let's say fetch all data, something like this, fetch all data. And within this function, you will be placing this function. Right. The console.log statement should come inside the fetch all data function. You need to specify a wait and async. So this is the most modern way of handling the promises. To print the result, you must call the function fetch all data and check once. You see that we are getting some result, although the data is not being fetched. But if you see, the status is 200, means the code is correct, we have got the response. Now in order to print the data, you must use JSON function and also use await here as well. So you're able to see that we are able to fetch the data. So if you want to verify, you can go back to the JSON placeholder. So this is that data that we just have fetched. Let's check out one thing. I'm going to cut the code from here. This code is going to print the result of x and y. It's going to print the sum. Let's check the flow of execution. Just be very attentive. Node promise. So according to you, it should fetch the result. It should fetch the data first, right? And then it should print the result, means print the sum of x and y. Like it's simply a synchronous task, and this is an asynchronous task. You remember we discussed that synchronous tasks are the ones which are going to be executed in order, means they are in sync, and asynchronous tasks are the ones that need some time to perform the task, and meanwhile if you are free you will be able to do some other task. This is called as asynchronous situation. Now when I run this, you will see that it's going to print 5. It's going to print the result of x and y first, because it knew that it's going to take time to fetch the data from this server. Meanwhile, you could do some other tasks. So this program has already printed the sum of x and y, which did not need any time to perform, and later it is printing all the data. Hence, we use here async and await functions. I really hope that things are clear now. There is another way to do this. I'm just going to comment this. I'll comment this one as well. So I'll use fetch, and let's copy this. We have another way. We can also use .then promise. Means if the data is fetched, then this is going to show that data, and if the data could not be fetched, then we're going to use catch, or if there is some kind of problem, some kind of error. So inside then function we have callback, having the parameter as data, console.log print data. Similarly, inside the catch function, you have another callback, which is having error as the parameter, console.log. We're going to print error. This is console.log error. Now when you run this, so you're going to get the response here as well, right? We in modern days mostly prefer async and await over .then and .catch, because async and await is easy to read and understand. With .then, your code starts looking messy when you have many steps. But with async await, it reads like just a normal story, reads line by line, step by step. So you just tell JavaScript wait here until the task finishes and then move on. So it will feel less like programming with chains and more like giving instructions in plain English. So that's all for this video. Stay tuned for the next one.